the ANC's National Working Committee is meeting its alliance partners, that is Cosatu and the SACP. It's expected they'll discuss, among other issues, concerns about Finance Minister Tito Mboweni's budget. Mboweni announced a plan to cut the public sector wage bill last week. Let me take you live now to Lutuli House, and ENCA's Vuyo Mvoko standing by with an update at this hour. So, Vuyo, the whole issue around cutting the public sector wage bill discussed at NEDLAC this morning, but you can read that it was foremost in the mind of the president even before he went for the meetings, Monday being an ANC day for ANC leaders, in that he wrote about it in his weekly newsletter and basically defending the stance that says we need to cut spending. But Cosatu, one of the alliance partners, already saying that the budget last week was a declaration of war on workers. How high are the stakes then?
Well, in fact, in that very newsletter you've just mentioned to us, the president saying it could have been worse, saying that they are not asking for the workers to take salary cuts. They said, they could have cut a lot more, and that would have had disastrous consequences. But of course, which is an indication that it's the one thing that is topmost in his mind, as you say. But at this meeting that is supposed to take place here, it's not every day, or at least not at every meeting, that the ANC calls in its alliance partners, namely Cosatu and the SACP. Short while ago, about 20 odd minutes ago or so, I saw the SACP delegation walking in. And the assumption, it would seem, the assumption among many people is that the ANC wants to have a conversation with its partners to say, we are in a fix and we've ought to work together to try and resolve the wage bill issue among several other issues. Now, Cosatu is digging in its heels, saying this here, the meeting that's currently taking place, is not where that issue can be discussed. The government of the ANC, if it wants to discuss that particular issue, must go to the Central Bargaining Council. Besides, as Cosatu, as much as they may be an alliance partner, they have no mandate to come and sit here and negotiate on behalf of the workers who will be affected. So the ANC government knows where to go, and that's in the Central Bargaining Chamber. And if they want to put forward a counter proposal to what is currently there in the time that remains for the contract it has with the workers currently, all that they need to do is table a proposal, whereafter the unions that belong to Cosatu that are in the public sector space will then make a consideration and then go and seek a mandate from their members. That's the only way to deal with it. As far as Cosatu is concerned, here they want to talk about South African Airways and other burning issues.
Yeah, and part of that, of course, is the political platform, because this has been the cry of the alliance partners that, have been crying for a quote-unquote reconfiguration of the alliance, particularly the SACP, in that they are saying that the mandate to govern is not just an ANC mandate, it's an alliance mandate that we, quote-unquote, campaign together. And then when it's time to govern, the ANC almost shuts the door and starts governing on their own. So one imagines that those are the kind of political discussions that will be happening inside that meeting, that strike at the heart of, you are making pragmatic decisions about our finances, but those are informed by your understanding of the mandate, which is not just your mandate, it's our mandate as an alliance.
Well, indeed, but they also accept to us the fact that the ANC does, in fact, lead. So there is one component of that tripartite alliance that is more senior than the others. I think the big cry has been the fact that, or at least from where Cosatu and the SACP come, their argument is that they are always left behind, especially when it comes to very critical issues. They are not even consulted. Now, depends, of course, also what you mean by consultation. But what they point out, or they've been pointing out over the past couple of weeks, is that consultation invitation doesn't mean that the only time the president and some of his ministers walk into a meeting of a central committee meeting central committee executive committee meeting of Cosatu is when they are in a fix and wanting a resolution, and even there they are not being honest about the issues that they want to table, to put on the table. So one doesn't know really what it is exactly and what the mood is going to be like inside there. But from a Cosatu point of view, I can tell our viewers this. They are in a fighting mood and they are prepared for anything that comes their way, and they are going to take a very hard line because they believe that they have come to the party, they have put proposals on the table, and the ANC, or the government at least, seems prepared to run roughshod over the interests of the workers. They believe that their solutions are not being considered at all, and all a government wants to do is come and say, this is what you are going to do, you take it or leave it. And they say that is not going to happen, certainly not this time around.
All right, Vuyo, we'll check in with you a bit later on. That is ENCA's political editor, Vuyo Mvoko. So the stage is set then for that discussion inside the ANC and its tripartite alliance partners around reducing the public sector wage bill, something that the alliance partners, Cosatu, certainly have said last week's budget was a declaration of war against workers. Let's see how it all works out of Luthuli House.